Look how much resources we got just by doing the method. Just look at this. How much resources we have. This week is the best week to grind resources right now in Division 2 since right now we got our Expertise Surge event. Expertise Surge event doubles the materials drop quantity from all sources available throughout the event, which we basically still have a week since it just dropped a few hours ago. And with this event, we can grind resources 2 times as fast as the normal grind, and there's a lot of ways to grind resources. But I have 2 ways that work the best for me. But before we hop into the method, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and comment down below if you have any questions. So let's talk about our first method, which is retaliation. Why retaliation? Because for me, there's a lot of stuff you can interact with that drops resources in the open world. You get a lot of XP by clearing control points, depending on the directive you have activated, obviously, while also gaining blueprints by defeating the kill squad. Not just that, the levels you get on the retaliation can also be exchanged for resources on the Shade Watch, but here is our pros and cons with retaliation. So for our pros, we have 5 of them, which the first one is some materials only drop from specific NPCs, and with retaliation there are 4 factions you can choose from, which is the Hyenas, True Sons, Outcasts, and Black Tusk. And with whatever faction you run the retaliation with, for example the Black Tusk, there will only be Black Tusk NPCs, and there are specific resources you're looking for, like the steel only drop from True Sons, the ceramic only drop from the Outcasts, the polycarbonate only drop from the Hyenas, the carbon fiber only drop from True Sons or Black Tusk, the electronics only drop from Hyenas or Black Tusk, the titanium also only drop from Outcast or Black Tusk. And with us being able to pick a faction where there are specific materials only dropped by specific NPCs is very good. While the second pros for retaliation is getting blueprints. By getting blueprints, you get better attachments, better weapons, and more. And for our third pros, as I said earlier, is getting XP from clearing control points, which we can basically use to exchange on our Shade Watch for resources. And the last one is having boxes around the map that you can open that has resources inside them. And for the cons of retaliation, we have longer matchmaking. Also, quick tip, could be faster if you are on the White House. And second is frustrating if you have bad teammates, since if anyone dies, the timer gets deducted by 1 minute. And lastly, retaliation is way more harder than our second method if you are new to the game. And so for our second method is the countdown. While countdown may not be the best, it has its own features, like having more targeted loot drop than retaliation, faster matchmaking, easier, and beginner friendly. So the pros for our second method is it has a faster matchmaking than retaliation. Since there's a lot of new and returning players on Division 2, and why they prefer doing countdown than retaliation is where the second pros come in, which is the countdown is just easier and beginner friendly than retaliation, where most of the new and returning players get their first builds, which is also me. That's where I got my first build. And also since there is 8 people in the group and countdown gives you buff before you start clearing objectives. And for the cons of countdown is it's just bug. But kidding aside though, countdown does not give you blueprints, barely any XPs, barely any resources. It's just that it's beginner friendly. That's why it's the second method. But if you're able to do retaliation, I suggest doing retaliation. But that's just my opinion, so let me know your opinions in the comment down below. Subscribe